I need to know what you would have done if you walked into your gym at 4 in the morning and the bitch at the front desk that clearly doesn't like you told you to have a horrible workout. So story time. I've been going to this gym for about 1.5 years now, and when I first started going there, I obviously didn't know any of the people at the front desk. So when I went in one morning and she was at the front desk, I had greeted her and I said, hey, good morning. And she was just on her cell phone, and she looked up at me when I said it and then looked back down at her cell phone. So, noted. The next day, the days after, I never greeted her because obviously she's not a girl's girl, so why would I give her any of my energy? So there's been tension ever since that. Not tension where I go and say anything. It's just I just know that she's not a girl's girl and she don't fuck with me like that, so why am I gonna say good morning to her? All right, so after that situation, not every day that this happens, but I have seen and witnessed her at the front desk talking with the employees there and casually looking over, kind of giggling, laughing, staring in my direction. So it's been clear that she talks about me with the people at the front desk, but it's to me, I'm not trying to start any problems because, girl, I can't afford that, right? So, I brushed it off. I haven't said anything. I've seen it, but whatever, right? There was another time that I walked into the gym and okay, my bad, my light went out, but deal with it. So a couple days later, maybe weeks later, I walked into the gym and that same girl and another guy that works there were talking. So when I was approaching the desk, the guy stopped talking, as you should as an employee, and greeted me and said, hi, good morning, and helped me scan in. And so I was like, oh, thank you. And he's like, have a great workout. And then I proceed to go into the gym, and the girl really loud says, before I was rudely interrupted. It took everything out of me to not say or do anything, just let me tell you. So that was another incident before the incident. So then a couple weeks later, there's been more instances where she'll look at me and dog me and whatever. Very petty things that I can get over. But I walked in one morning, and as I was approaching the desk, again, the same guy and that girl were talking at the front desk. And I walk in, and again, the guy greets me and says, hi, good morning, then says, have a good workout. And I said, thanks. And I walked away. And as I walked away, the girl said, more like a horrible workout. I don't know why, but I turned around so fast and I took my headphone off and was like, what did you say? And she's like, nobody was even talking about you. And the guy was had his cell phone open, and she was like, I was over here talking to him and going on and on and on and on, if I'm crazy. And mind you, while this is going on, the guy that she was sitting next to that works there was looking down at his phone. So that says a lot. That's your little employee friend, and he's looking down as somebody's confronting you about something that you didn't say. So that already had told me a lot. I know I'm not crazy, I know what I heard. So anyway, we kind of start going back and forth, and the guy puts his head down on the front desk as he's looking at his phone, y'all can handle that. Because he knows that I was not in the wrong, right? So anyway, she keeps denying it. And I said, no, what did you say? And she's like, nobody was even talking about you, trying to make it seem like I am just making things up. I'm hearing things. And I told her, I was like, no, I heard what you said. You said to have a horrible workout. I'm like, really? Really? I'm gonna be in high school, So anyway, she is looking at me no, denying it. And I said, look, I really wanted to crash out. I really wanted to crash out. But all these things started running in my head. Girl, I have way too much to lose. So I really just looked at her and was like, you really need to keep it professional if you want to keep your job. And you know what she said? Nothing. And I walked away and continued with my workout. Because God forbid. All right, so update on the girl who works the front desk at my gym who told me to have a horrible workout. So since I've posted that video, I've actually had 2 girls DM me in private guessing the correct location to my gym because apparently they've had the same experience with that same girl. And we are in fact talking about the same girl because when she DM'd me, she told me that it was the girl with the burgundy hair. And although in the video that I posted of her, she has black hair, a couple weeks ago, she used to have burgundy hair. The second girl that DM'd me also complained of the employee being rude to her, giving her dirty looks. So it's very clear that she has something against females. So with that said, I took your advice, and being that I'm not the only one experiencing this at the gym where, you know, we go to better ourselves, and whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally, nobody should be treated that way. So I did file a complaint, and I got a call this morning from the district manager, and we had a 15-minute conversation. So he reached out to me this morning, and before I even explained anything, he greatly apologized and was extremely embarrassed about what had happened and wanted to get a more clear understanding of what occurred. So I explained to him A through Z what had occurred, and he extremely apologized and sympathized with me and told me that he felt horrible, that he would speak with the manager, and unfortunately the manager was not going to be in until tomorrow morning. So being that it's a long weekend, that he would have a follow-up call with me on Tuesday regarding what are the next steps.
So job number one was like a really good, well-paying job, okay? And how that job worked was that I was not legally able to even do my job or help any customers until I finished my training. And there's a bunch of different types of training you have to do. You have to watch these PowerPoint presentations, you have to attend these WebEx classes, etc. So I'm doing all of these classes, and before I can even physically do my job and help people legally, because it's about finances, I have to finish this completion with training. So all I've been doing is training, okay? Mind you, there's weird shit going on. So they sent me home a few different times. And the reason why they sent me home, they were saying it's because my trainer, who was supposed to train me in these WebEx classes, didn't show up. Like, he literally just kept calling out. So they told me to stay home. They said I was going to get paid for it, whatever. Mind you, 2 weeks go by. I'm at home. It's been 2 weeks. I've been getting paid for everything. They said that the company's going to pay for it. Whatever, no questions asked. They were like, the company's gonna pay for it, like, don't even worry about it, blah, blah, blah. So I stay home. So I fucking stay home, and I'm like, okay, I'm like really confused. While this is going on, by the way, I think it's really sus. So I'm still applying. I'm applying for new jobs while this is actively going on at this first job. And I'm like, okay, this is really weird. Like, I just don't really know about it. Mind you, I find out that they used all of my sick time and vacation time without me asking. They used it to pay me because my trainer wasn't like coming into work. I wasn't calling out, by the way. And I said, will this be notated on my performance that I'm not physically calling out? It's because like my trainer's just like not coming into work. And they were like, yeah. Like my manager was like, yeah, it's totally fine. Mind you, okay, so fast forward. So HR calls me. HR is like, hey, Tiana, by the way, like, we think, long story short, they were like, we think that your performance hasn't been up to par and we don't want to move forward with you in the company. And I said, what performance? I have not even been able to perform my job. There's been no performance to be performed because I haven't even been able to do my job because I trained for like 1 week and then 2 weeks I was sitting at home. What are you fucking talking about? Fast forward, I get hired at a new job, okay? But mind you, I had to wait an entire month before I even got a call back from a new place. So a whole month, okay? A whole month I'm unemployed. I don't have a job. So a month later, apply for this other job. It's great. It's a small family-owned business. It's magical. It's wonderful. Everyone's fabulous there. I get a call. I'm being let go because they're shutting down. The company is just shutting down. I worked there for like a week and a half and the company shut down. How is this my life? Okay, so I'm like stressed. I'm freaking out, okay? I'm like, this is the second job. Like, what the actual fuck? Okay, I'm smiling, I'm crying. I'm like, I need to make rent. I'm gonna be homeless. Like, how am I gonna eat? Like, I literally don't know what I'm gonna fucking do, okay? So then fast forward, third job rolls around, okay? So the third fucking job, I'm working at this fucking job, and the reason why they let me go is because my ex decided to keep coming into the job to try to see me, and they let me go because they said that we have an image to uphold and the safety of our employees. So if I was in a DV situation, you're telling me that that's how you would have treated it? And what do I mean that he kept coming into my job? Okay, so he saw me. I was walking into the back of the store and then he saw me and then I just kept walking because I was like, I'm not talking to this piece of shit. So then I'm like walking into the back and I'm in the back of the store, right? And then I guess he kept like coming in and he was like walking around in my department and he was looking really suspicious because he was wearing like this, at the time it was like kind of cold. So he was wearing like this really long dark coat and they thought like potentially he was stealing. And because I knew him, because they asked me, and it wasn't even my fault. It was because like the LP guy was like showing us the video footage, the CCTV of this guy, and he was like, hey, by the way, in your department, this guy's like really suspicious. He's not stealing anything, but like he's just being really weird and suspicious. And I said, oh, I know him. And they were like, you know him? And I didn't mean to say that, but they were like, you know him? And I'm like, yeah, I fucking know him. And I was like, that's my ex. I'm so sorry. And then they were like, okay. 2 days go by, and then they let me go because of that. Cat hair. Yeah, so just like imagine if I was in a DV situation and then they let me go because of that. Okay, highly illegal. Okay, we're gonna move on. So then I go into the next job. So the next job after that, this is my life, you guys. I fucking cannot make this shit. This literally happened to me. That happened at that one. So now we're going to talk about the next one. So then the next job after that, this is job number 4. So job number fucking 4. Let me tell you about this fucking job, okay? So this job I was really excited about because it's a really good paying job. It's like a very respectable job. I was really excited about it. It had to do with finances, and I really wanted to work in finances. I wanted to further my career in finances because I actually want to develop a program to bring back into schools where I talk about financial aid, and like also not even just like financial aid, but bring back education around finances to help children in like lower income communities get out of generational debt. Okay, so that's why I wanted to work in finances. I actually want to have that program. It's the whole reason why I went back into finances. So I was really excited to get this job. So I get this fucking job. Bitch. So I get this job and it's like a dream come true, bitch. Like when I tell you it's a dream come true, it is literally a dream come true. Like everyone is so amazing. It's the most diverse, welcoming staff. Like the CEO is on the floor like above us where we're working, and he's like so kind. Like everyone's so cool and just so friendly and nice. Or so I fucking thought. I get a phone from HR. So mind you, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. So for like 3-4 days, I'm staying home and I'm working from home remotely. And the reason why I'm working remote is because my direct manager who's supposed to train me just went into labor. Okay, so I'm at home working remote. I'm doing training videos at home. So I get a call from HR. So HR lady calls me. She's asking how I'm doing. I just finished a meeting, by the way. And I was like, oh, I'm doing really good. I just finished this meeting. I'm about to do like these training seminars. Like, is there anything else that I need to do? Like, blah, 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 after I finish these, right? And she goes, no, I actually have some news for you. And I really want to talk to you about something. And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, what's going on? And she was like, unfortunately, at this time, we've decided as a company to not move forward with your employment. And I said, why? I was like, I'm really confused. I was like, I'm really confused and you're throwing me for a curveball because I thought everything was okay. You know, you were saying how I was a really good employee, how you were really excited to have me on the team. Everyone was so nice. Like everything seemed fine like a few days ago. So what changed from then till now? And is there something that I can do to make this not happen anymore? Because I was like, you're the 4th job to do this to me. And she was like, no, Itiana, I think you are a really good employee. It's just at this time we don't want to move forward. And I'm confused because I'm like, why would you let me go if I'm a good employee? And I told her that. And I said, if I was a really good employee and my performance was good and you thought I would do well in the company, then why are you letting me go? I'm flabbergasted. I'm fucking crying. I'm like, okay, whatever. Just give me my check, whatever. Okay, so they mail me my check, whatever. So that was the next job. I, at this point, am really frustrated because I'm like, okay, am I doing something wrong? And also, not to toot my own horn, but I've never struggled with work before. And like, I don't mean that in like a bitchy, snobby way. I mean, like, I genuinely have always been able to find a job immediately. I've always been able to just like work really hard and get this work. I want to work. I like working. I want to fucking work. That was the 5th job. I get a fucking call today from HR and she tells me because my position, and I was really excited about this job, you guys. I waited a whole month to find a job. And I just got a phone call literally an hour and a half ago from HR saying that because my position is not part of the union, they're getting rid of my position. How the fuck? It's okay if you don't believe me. I don't believe it myself and it's happening to me. And listen, all I'm going to say is that I'm flabbergasted as to why this is even happening. I asked for feedback multiple times from all these different places and they all said that I was a great employee. So I think it's just a sign from the universe that I need to be doing this full time. Anyways, yeah, my life is a fucking joke because how the fuck does that happen to me 5 times in a span of 2 different months? And they all said that there was nothing that I did wrong. So I'm really confused as to what the fuck's happening. The universe is clearly telling me that I just need to do content creation full time and I need to full send it. So here's the thing. I clearly need to be doing this full time because what? 5 times? My life is a fucking joke. How does that even happen to somebody? I literally don't even understand. Anyways, what do you guys think about this? Because it wasn't my fault. Like, I swear, I asked. They said it wasn't. So I don't know.
I am so tired of restaurants having this mentality that the customer is always right. For those of you that don't know, I am a server, and I had a table of 6 today, and it was someone's birthday, and so I take their order, and they're very fucking specific, which is fine. I'm generally used to people being extremely specific about their order, especially older people. And so I put in their order, and when they get it, one of the ladies got an Eggs Benedict, and her eggs were hard. I will admit, they weren't poached to the point where the inside was gooey. Okay, and I asked her, I'm like, do you want me to send it back? Do you want me to get you a new thing of eggs? And she's like, well, if you get me a new thing of eggs, like, I'm just gonna have to wait a really long time, so like, don't worry about it. So I say, okay, no worries, I'm really sorry. I then tell my manager about the situation, and I'm like, hey, is there any way that you can touch the table? Because her poached eggs were not how they're supposed to be. So I just want you to ensure that everything's okay. She goes to check on the table, and they had no complaints. They said that they were fine, they were good, everything's fucking perfect. I went to check on this table literally like 3 fucking times, saying, is everything good? Is everything okay? To which everyone at this table said, yeah, we're perfect, we're good. When they are done, I get the birthday guy, I should say, a cheesecake on the house with a candle, and I even go behind him and light it so he doesn't see me, and then I put it in front of him so everyone can sing him happy birthday. And mind you, before this, the birthday guy asked me to give him specifically the bill, which I thought he was just being modest, as a lot of people fucking do, especially in that circumstance. So I was like, oh yeah, sure, like, I'll give you the bill, because I wanted to consult with the table before I did that. Not only did I give him this cheesecake, but they had brought a cake specifically for his birthday. So I helped set it up, get plates and spoons to make this occasion special. We lit up the candles, they sung happy birthday, and I thought that that was gonna be it. But it wasn't. At the end of the event, I was talking to another table, and the birthday guy is like, hey, we're on a time crunch. I need the fucking bill. I need it now. And I'm like, okay, like, I'll get it right now. And before I directly hand it to him, I like go to like look at the party, and I'm like, are you sure? Like, are you really the one who's paying for it? Like, it's your birthday. And he's like, we already delegated this. Give me the fucking bill so I can pay you. And I'm like, okay. After they pay, I'm standing at the host stand, and the birthday guy comes up to me, and he's like, I just want to let you know that the tip that I'm giving you is reflecting like the service overall. He's like, several people in my party like did not get the food that they were expecting, and I'm just telling you right now, as you as a server, like, because of that, like, I'm only giving you like 10%. I literally tell him, I'm like, sir, like, I'm sorry, but it's not my fault that the kitchen fucked up. Like, it's not my fault that everything went wrong. I literally asked you guys so many times if everything was okay, and you guys told me yes. We literally just get into a feud about that, and he's like, look, I'm still giving you a tip, which means you should be fortunate enough that I'm fucking doing that. And then he goes back to the table, and he's talking to my manager. And of course my manager is like, oh yes sir, I'm so sorry sir, like, this won't happen again, blah blah blah. And then he goes towards his table, and he's like, yeah, I just want to let you know that my tip is reflecting the service overall. Even though I did so fucking well, I'm a good fucking server. And so I look at him, and I'm like, sir, like, it wasn't my fault. And he was like, see, this is what I fucking mean. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so my manager literally like makes this motion motion to me saying like, stop. And then she comes up to me and she's like, the customer is always right. And I'm like, but he wasn't. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. So because the kitchen fucked up, I ended up with $16 on a $250 bill. 16 fucking dollars. I literally, when I closed that check, I almost wanted to be like, fuck his tip. I don't even want him to give it to me anymore. And then of course, my manager had to report it to my general manager, right? And my general manager told my manager to just take me off of work. Like, just take me off the fucking clock, send me the fuck home, and she'll talk to me when she gets back from vacation. And I work this Thursday. And I asked one of my managers late at night, and I'm like, do you think I'm gonna get written up? And he was like, probably. And I'm just sitting here like, bro, like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, he disrespected me. Like, he shouldn't have brought this to me. He should have brought this to my manager. Because I touched the table multiple times. My manager touched the fucking table twice. And they said everything was fine. So it's like, I'm sorry, but it's like the fucking customer is not always right. And now I have to worry about being written up. And I have to worry about getting a bad fucking review. And I'm just like, I don't fucking deserve this. This is just so fucking unfair. Because when my manager was talking to this guy, she just like accommodated him. She was just like, I'm sorry, you're totally fucking right. Like, not standing up for me as a server whatsoever. She was not on my side. And I was like, I didn't do anything wrong. And now I'm gonna get written up, and I've never been written up for anything in my entire fucking life. And I'm just like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, why shouldn't I be able to stand up for myself when he was being so fucking, like, just rude to me and not, you know, just, he didn't make sense. Like, I tried so hard. I spent so much energy on this fucking table. Like, and the worst part is that one of the people at his table, when she was going to the bathroom, literally said, oh, you did a phenomenal job. Thank you so much. You made this experience so fucking great. And then all the people at his table literally said that he was overreacting, and mind you too, the entire time I was talking to him, I was level-headed. Like, I wasn't raising my voice. I wasn't being fucking, like, I didn't have an attitude. I wasn't being sarcastic. I was referring to him as sir the entire time. And now, like, my GM is gonna talk to me on Thursday, and it's like, I don't think that I deserve to be written up. I don't think that I did anything wrong. Like, they're just scared of him making a fucking Yelp review, talking poorly on the restaurant, rather than the fact that, like, he, like, fucking was so mean to me. Fuck. If you are considering working at a restaurant, work for a fucking family-owned business, not a fucking chain, because the family-owned businesses are more likely to actually look out for you, whereas the chains do not give a fuck about you. You are replaceable. They don't fucking care. They don't care. And I know this doesn't seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but this is my job, this is my livelihood, and it's like, I'm always being mistreated.
I'm going to tell you the creepiest story that I got about it so far, but first, promise me you won't do it. You just shouldn't do it. It's literally a blood ritual. When I first heard about it, I thought it was just like an internet hoax, like Bloody Mary, where you stand in the mirror and you whisper her name 3 times. The Midnight Man game originated on the internet around like 2010. I think it was like a creepypasta or something. The person who posted it said they found it in their grandfather's journal on a page stained with blood. And this person said that this was originally like a pagan torture ritual, like they would make people do this ritual in order to meet the Midnight Man. There's actually no evidence that points to the fact that this was a pagan ritual, but that doesn't mean that the people who have tried it have not created a tulpa or something like an entity that they invite in when they do this. So this guy named Mark emails me and he says, I did the Midnight Man ritual when I was in college around 2016. It was the thing to do back then. He was home at his parents' house on Christmas break. They were out for the night. He was home watching his family dog, whatever, decides he's going to do it. He said he did this basically to prove to his friends that nothing was going to happen. Like, he didn't believe in the paranormal. He was a big horror movie fan. He just wanted to like do it just to spook himself. He just wanted to say he did it basically. So he writes his name on a piece of paper. He pricks his finger. He puts a drop of his own blood on the paper. He lights a candle. He turns out the lights. And at 11:59, he starts knocking on the door. And part of the ritual is you have to knock at the door 22 times on the wooden door. And your last knock has to end precisely at midnight. Then you blow out the candle, you open the door as to invite the Midnight Man in, you close the door, and you immediately relight your candle. He does all of this. The goal of the game is just to exist without your candle going out until 3:33 a.m. Apparently this is harder than it sounds like because you can't just sit. You have to walk around your house in the dark with only the candle to guide you. If your candle goes out, you have 10 seconds to relight it. If your candle goes out and you fail to relight it in those 10 seconds, you have to form a circle of salt around you and you have to sit inside of it until 3:33 a.m. I guess if you don't do this, the Midnight Man will get you. And that's what Mark said happened to him. One of the rules is you're not supposed to leave your house, but around 2:30 in the morning, he's walking around his house, candle's still lit, everything's fine. His dog has to go out. He's like, okay, I'm going to open the back door, let the dog out. As he opens the back door, the dog runs out, the candle goes out. Because he's standing by the back door, he doesn't have his lighter. So he's looking around the house, can't figure out where he put it in the dark. The 10 seconds has come and gone. So he's like, fine, salt. Goes to the kitchen to grab the shaker. Shaker's empty. He doesn't live there full time, so he doesn't know where his mom keeps the big thing of salt. So he's just walking around the house. He's like, okay, well, I guess nothing's going to happen. And nothing does until about 3:01 a.m. He said he was in his living room and suddenly everything just got completely cold. Like, he had been comfortable up until that point, but all of a sudden he could see his own breath. He said in his email, it was like all of the comfort in the room got sucked out at the same time. And then he hears a laugh. He said it was just a split second, but like it was definitively a laugh, although he couldn't tell if it was a man's or a woman's. He felt all the hair on his neck stand up. He was just like, I didn't like that, whatever. It was probably just a trick of my own mind in the dark. But then out of the corner of his eye, he sees a shadow move near the doorway to the kitchen in the corner. He jerks his head to look and he sees an unnaturally tall shadow figure standing in the corner. He said it wasn't a normal shadow. It seemed to draw all the light in the room toward it. It seemed to absorb any light there was. So Mark's standing there frozen in fear, and then it seemed to take a step toward him and then another. So he's like, I'm out. He runs up the stairs into his childhood bedroom and slams the door behind him. He's standing there. All he can hear is his own heartbeat, his own breath. And then he felt what he described as a puff of air being blown into his ear. He runs out of the room. He's actually stomping around the house at this point as to create as much noise as possible to prevent him from hearing anything. He still thinks it's just a trick of his own mind. He makes it back in the kitchen. He looks at the clock on the stove and he sees it's 3:23. So he's only got 10 minutes left. He continues stomping around the house and then it's 3:34. He turns on the light. He's like, that wasn't that bad. I did it. Now nothing happened to me. But then he said what people don't know about the Midnight Man is he's not out to get you as in like unalive you. He actually feeds on psychological torture. When he went to bed that night, he had the worst nightmares of his entire life. He tossed and turned all night. He ended up getting up, turning on the lights, trying to go back to sleep, and just didn't really sleep at all that whole night. Ended up going down to the living room, falling asleep on the couch. Around 7 a.m., he just gives up, and he realizes that he never let his dog back in, so he goes to the back door. So he opens the back door, calls for the dog. Dog's out by the tree. It's a fenced-in yard. Everything's fine. Dog walks toward the house, stops at the threshold, and will not come inside. He grabs it by the collar. He tries to bring it in the house. The dog is whining and yapping, and as soon as he brings it in the house, the dog runs right back out. It ran right back out underneath the tree, sat in the grass, and started crying. Mark ends up feeding and watering the dog outside. Later on, his parents get home. His mom comes home. She wants to say hi to her dog. It's like her little baby. She goes outside. She's like, what'd you do to my dog? He's like, I didn't do anything to it. He won't come in the house. Dog still refuses. The next day, the mom takes the dog to the vet. Can't figure out what's wrong with it. It's testing fine. Nothing appears to be wrong. The dog refuses to come in. Mark continues to have nightmares night after night after night. He dreams of shadowy hands coming across him in his sleep. It feels like he's having like sleep paralysis. He is exhausted, but he thinks he is just doing this to himself. Like it's a trick of his own mind because he freaked himself out so much doing the ritual. Doesn't really tell anybody that he's experiencing this, right? Just tells his friends he did the ritual and nothing happened. A couple days after Christmas, he's still home. He goes out with some friends to the bar. He's out past midnight. He looks down to check his phone and he sees he has 4 missed calls from his mom. He thinks immediately something is wrong because his mom is usually in bed by like 8 p.m. So he calls her back right away. She answers on the first ring. She says, is everything okay? He says, yeah. Is everything okay with you? Why'd you call me 4 times? And she said, well, I saw you come in our room. He says, what are you talking about? She's like, you just woke Dad and I up. You were standing in the corner looking at us. She says, are you okay? Where are you? He says, I'm at the bar. And she's just quiet on the other end of the line. And finally she says, are you on something? And he says, what are you talking about? She says, we just saw you standing in the corner of our room, just standing there. And when we asked if you needed something, you just turned and walked out. She says, I went in your room and you weren't in there. And he says, Mom, I've been at the bar the whole time. You must have been dreaming. And she says, no, your dad saw you too. She said, we've been worried sick. We've been looking for you. She says, you need to come home right now. He calls an Uber home, gets back to their house. They're sitting up at the kitchen table waiting for him. They are not convinced to this day that he was not standing in their bedroom that night. He still swears it was not him. And he says to this day, he still has nightmares of shadowy hands, although they've receded a little bit over the years. He says, I'm convinced I let something in, and I'm just sharing this so people don't make the same mistake that I did, because I've seen these videos trending again. I know this topic is viral again. He says, don't do it. You'll regret it like I do. Have you guys tried this? Do you have any experiences? Let me know.